Have you ever been trying to help a child who has some big emotions going on to calm down and they're not listening? They're not taking your advice or your offers of help so they could calm down, and now it's starting to really get to you? Yeah, yeah, me too. Okay? This happens to lots of families, and lots of children with big emotions aren't listening to us when we're trying to help them do nothing more than calm down. And this whole scene ends up exploding in family life. I want to help you change that for the good. I want to help you learn exactly what you can do in that moment to help your child actually take your advice and go take a break, calm down, have a seat, and change their hearts. And I want to help you know what you can proactively be doing to see some heart transformation so we can stop seeing this scene so frequently. Let's start right off the bat and get the don'ts out of the way. We don't want to be arguing with our kids. We don't want to be trying to overpower their big emotions with our big emotions. We don't want to logically explain why we're doing things or help them understand how this is helping them. We don't want to ask them questions. Oh, would you like to go here or there or this place or that place? All of this is a big don't. The reason all that's a big don't is because all of that is involving language. And what we know about the brain is that your child is not in the area of the brain that likes language at that moment. You know, they are in, if this is their brain, this is where they are, down in the amygdala. They have flipped their lid, and guess what's all up here? This is their brain calmed down. This is where all of their logical reasoning areas are, their verbal skills are. All of that good stuff is there. Down here are emotions, their fight, flight, freeze, appease triggers down here. This isn't bad, but this guy shouldn't really be in charge too much. So when they're angry and they're flipping their lid, we're trying to talk to up here when we're explaining and logically helping them understand how this is helping and offering all these choices and everything else. But they're down here. And so they're just not hearing. So when we're trying to talk to them, we are causing the emotions to get bigger because we're addressing the wrong part of the brain. Now that the don'ts are out of the way, let's talk about what we should be doing. First of all, we want to help our children borrow from our calm. They're in chaos. They need to borrow from our calm. Rather than drawing us into their chaos, we need to stay calm in the moment and keep our voice at an appropriate level and use very few words in the process. If we're going to offer choices, we want to limit those choices to maybe two, which you can go get a drink of water, you could have a seat over there to calm down. And that's all you're saying at that point. You don't really care which one they do. You just want whichever one's going to help them at that point. Maybe you offer a choice like that, or maybe just tell them, you need to go sit over there, calm down, and come see me when you're ready. Is it okay to say you can have a hug? Yeah, you can have a hug. You can go get a drink of water. You know, it depends on how big of an emotion you're experiencing right now. The size of the stop, the size of the pause button you need to hit needs to match the size of the emotion that's going on. So yeah, for some kids, a hug or a glass of water is going to be all they need in that moment to kind of get a hold of themselves and come on back for a conversation. But some kids need to have a seat over here, just kind of sit, no timers or anything, just sit down, take a few breaths, cleansing breaths, and come back when you're ready to talk. The size of the stop is based on the size of the problem going on in that moment. But BJ, you say, my kid's not listening. That's why I'm watching this video. I get it. I just wanted to lay out a little bit of the groundwork beforehand. But let's talk about that. So now you've said these things to your kid. You've been calm. It's beautiful. We should have run the video in your house. It was so great. But your kid is still yelling at you at that point. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to make two conscience-bearing statements at this point. And here are those statements. You're going to look at your child and calmly but clearly communicate the following two things. One, what you're doing is wrong. That's the first conscience-bearing statement you need to say, because you're telling the conscience at that point, you're speaking right to your child's heart, this is wrong. The way you're going about this is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. The second statement is, you need to take a break. You're telling your child, go have a seat over here, come on, but you need to. You need to speaks to another part of the conscience, saying, here's a responsibility you now have. You're doing something wrong, you need to do this. Two conscience-bearing statements that you need to say to your child, and then you need to walk away. You need to walk out of the room, and let them sit there, just them and a conscience, not an audience that you're providing when you're there. You're giving them a gift. It's called the gift of time. You're allowing the Holy Spirit to work on that child's heart. And they're now taking a break. You're not there. They might not go sit on the perfect spot on the couch or the chair or wherever, but they're now on a break because life has stopped around them and they need to sort of just sit in where they are and calm down here. But BJ, you say, they followed me right out the room and they're still yelling at me. I get it. So here's the next thing you're going to do. You're going to keep walking away. You're not engaging at this point because your words aren't helping them. You've offered them a few solutions and they're not taking those solutions. Your words aren't going to help them more. They need time with themselves at that point. So you're going to keep walking and you're going to go into your room. They followed me into my bedroom. Okay, at some point, you can't keep walking, right? You're not leaving the house or anything. You're just going to walk to your bedroom, and if they won't leave at that point, you start praying out loud. You are genuinely praying for your child. You're asking Jesus to help you continue to be a good mom, a good dad, and to help your child go take a break because you know that's what they need to do. And just start praying out loud. You're doing a couple things there. One, you are genuinely requesting God's help, and He will genuinely hear your cry for help and answer you. You're genuinely doing some spiritual warfare here. And third, your kid's not going to know what to do when their parents praying out loud with their eyes closed. So a lot of times they walk out. Bonus tip, a less spiritual way to do this is go find your spouse and just start kissing. Kids always walk away when you do that. Either way, go pray or go kiss. Whatever you want to do at that point. The point is we're trying to get our kid to go have a seat and take some cleansing breaths and come back to see us when they're ready. It's important, though, once your child has calmed down, that they come back to see you for a really quick but important conversation about, hey, what emotion were you feeling? How did you know you were feeling that emotion and what was causing that emotion? And the most important question, what are you going to do next time? Because you're going to experience this emotion again. It might be in a similar situation. Let's have a plan. The more we have a plan for the next time, the better chance we have of correctly navigating that big emotion when it comes on in a future moment. The important thing is that your child knows you're on their side. You're trying to help them through this, and you're trying to plan for the future. We're not going to stomp out every big emotion, nor really should we. We are feeling those emotions for specific reasons. The important thing is noticing that emotion sooner on in the process and being able to navigate it in a healthy way so we can hear what the emotion's trying to tell us about a situation and respond in a mature way. But the fact your kid wouldn't take your advice to go get a drink of water, accept a hug, go do some cleansing breathing right over here, take a break, whatever it is, tells me your child needs to work more on cooperation. I've got a mini course just for you down in the links down below that you can go ahead and grab and start working on the very heart qualities you need to develop in your child's heart. Cooperation, responsibility. These are the heart qualities that you can work on with specific exercises in that mini course that you can start literally today and start seeing some change in family life. It'll get your kid to start cooperating with you, and it'll also start transforming your relationship with your child. So in the future, when you tell them, hey, you need to have a seat over here, they actually go do it.